This is a Headgum podcast.
Shine bright like a diamond, shine bright like a diamond. Find light in the beautiful sea. I choose to be happy. You and I are like diamonds in the sky. You're a shooting star I see, a vision of ecstasy. When you hold me, I'm alive. We're like diamonds in the sky. I knew that we'd become one right away. Oh, right away. That's my rendition of Diamonds by Rihanna.
That was so beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Also, that was a really great... Sorry, I don't know if I should talk already,
You can
but
talk whenever you want.
that really clarified a few lyrics for me
And
that
you know what?
were
Me
up
too.
in the air.
Me too.
So thank you for
You're
that.
welcome. And you're wondering, what year is it? Why, it is 2013. And what is going on in 2013, you ask? Well, according to KQUED.com, I don't know what this is,
Love that publication.
the most anti-pop song goes number one, Lord Tennis Court. The microphone flips off my ear. Do we know that? Royals, I guess. Is what
Oh,
it
yeah,
is.
yeah,
What
yeah.
is Tennis Court? Was that the album?
That was it. Maybe.
HBO cancels Enlightened. Sad. Great show. Daft Punk cancels an appearance on the Colbert Report. Why is this notable in their 2013 culture roundup? We don't know.
We all know where we were when Daft Punk canceled their Colbert Report appearance.
This was the year that Taylor Swift swept every single musical award show. Huge year for her. And when she went viral for dancing at every single one, as we see it here, a collection of gifts, one might say.
I love that was notable
I know,
because she was
this
like
is-
having fun at awards shows, and
Yeah.
people were like, "This is meme worthy."
You know, I don't like this list, so I'm moving on to a new one, which
Okay.
is called the Miley Cyrus Twerk Award of 2013, which was huge, which we love. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Gangnam Style, also very big at the time.
And the Harlem Shake.
And
This
the
was a
Harlem
huge year
Shake.
for viral dances.
It really was. Also, wow. A play of The Orphans starring Shia LaBeouf and Alec Baldwin did not age well, one might say.
Two very controversial figures.
And where were we in 2013 when they were starring on Broadway? We were in Long Beach, California. And who are we? We are Ali Macofsky. Ali, thank you for joining me on Senior Superlatives today, live from Netflix's A Joke Festival on the rooftop of the W Hotel.
I mean, I'm honored to be here. This was huge, getting that text from you. I
we're
was
watching
like,
a day party.
wow, I know, it's incredible. This truly is the best way to do a podcast.
It's kind of the only way. We can never go back.
Do you think that the people at the pool are jealous that we're podcasting?
Do you think that they think that we're actually doing control for helicopters nearby?
Or I don't think that they've thought about us once at all.
They don't know we're
since getting
here. Well, we're wearing clothes, so therefore we're invisible.
We are staff.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're like, excuse me, where are mimosas?
Yeah, exactly.
We'll be right down.
So Ali, I have to know, what was going on with you in high school? What were you like? Were you in a clique? What was your style? What was your vibe? What was your high school like? Tell me everything.
It was the best time in my life.
Was it actually?
No, I ate lunch alone in the bathroom.
You're lying.
I am not lying.
Like in the movies?
I truly was a movie character eating lunch alone in a bathroom stall.
With the tray on your lap?
By choice, I would like to say that this was my doing. No one hated me that I'm aware of. I was just a loner, and I felt so uncomfortable, and I ate lunch alone in the bathroom.
With the tray on your lap?
I don't know what my lunch was, but it wasn't a tray. I think I would just, whatever I either brought or picked up, I would just kind of munch on it. Or I was I definitely hung out in teachers' classrooms and ate alone, or I had my license and would just kind of cruise to the local Taco Bell and then eat alone in my car.
Wow.
Yeah.
Loner vibes.
Big loner
We're
vibes.
starting off the episode with a shock.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just a fun fact because I wasn't necessarily bullied, and I was kind of a social butterfly, but I never felt like I had my place with a particular group. And so to avoid any sort of like interior conflict about who to hang out with and what pressure it was to choose my crew, I was like, I'm going to be a crew of one.
Yeah. I mean, crew of one is very manageable.
It was easy. Yeah.
So was your school cliquey?
Yeah, very. I mean, I feel like every school was.
When I think of like a Southern California school, I think movie.
Yeah, and also our graduating class was like 2,000 people.
Whoa, so it was
maybe
huge.
less than that. I might be over exaggerating, but our school was giant. There were maybe like less than 5,000 total students. That might be insane.
There were 5 million people in your
5
high
million
school.
people. All of California went to my school at the same time. I just remember being like a huge school.
Did you have like sports and things like that?
Huge performing arts school, huge athletic school.
Were you involved in any of those things?
Yeah, I don't want to brag, but I was a jock for a year.
Really? Which year?
I think my sophomore or senior year, something with an S. Because I was on the swim team. So
Were you good?
I was a secretly good swimmer, but no one knew my capabilities at the beginning. And when you're on the swim team, when you go and do races against other schools, there's kind of like a dummy lane.
Yeah.
There's like a lane that's off in the corner that like doesn't count as part of the race, but it's like you can swim if you want. Like they kind of throw like little submarines and like go catch the little toys. So that was the lane that they put me in, but then all of a sudden they found out that I was really good at this like medley. So you do like one lap breaststroke, the next lap freestyle, the lap after that the dolphin or whatever it's called, the butterfly. And then the lap after that is whatever the other backstroke. Are you a swimmer?
I swim. Yeah,
Wow.
I dabbled in swimming. You know.
Yeah, so I was secretly really good at that, and so they finally put me into the big girl competition. My family came out to support me, and as soon as I dived in, I was so anxious.
You choked.
I choked, and so I pretended that something got messed up with my goggles, and I just doggy paddled back and called it quits.
Really? That was it?
That was my big swimming career.
And then just like that, you were like, I can't do this. I can't deal with the pressure.
I choked under pressure.
High school sports pressure is no joke.
Yeah. Yeah, it was insane. But I did love the like sexy little swimsuits they give you.
Oh, yeah, that high cut.
Because you're in high school and like you get to be like kind of sexual at school.
Yeah.
Like, but for a good reason to be athletic.
You're an athlete.
And so I just remember I would take so many selfies in my tiny little high rise.
Well, you were in high school like
one
recently
piece.
and you could take selfies.
No, I just realized. Yeah, that's true. But I just realized my 10-year reunion is gonna be like next
cry
year.
me
or
a
something.
river. 10 years.
So insane to think about. Because
Are
in
you
my
gonna
head,
go?
I'm still in high school. Yeah, of course I'm gonna go.
You are? You're gonna pull up?
100%. I'm just gonna eat my little buffet style food in the bathroom and
Alone?
relive the good days. No, but I feel like at this point I feel like I can kind of flex on a few people at least.
Oh, for sure.
Isn't that the point of a high school reunion?
It absolutely is.
Yeah, and I know that there's gonna be, there might be a few fans
who
need to see me.
We love to run into a fan at a reunion.
Yeah, so I'm showing up.
You have such distinctive style now, a very distinct aesthetic. Some might say it's the Ali Macofsky.
You think so?
Yes.
Wow.
Did you have one in high school? Were you stylish? What were you
Oh
wearing?
my God, not at all. I was not stylish at all, but I will say that there were like a few trends that I kind of started in my high school that I never like was annoying about, but I really wish that I was a little bit more aggressive about letting people know that I was the first one to do it.
Such as?
Okay, so my sister, she worked at Disneyland and she went out to Japan to work at the Disneyland in Tokyo. And so she would send me all these photos of like what people were wearing out there. And at the time, no one at my school was wearing denim shorts with like leggings underneath them, like the stocking.
Like a tight, yeah.
Yeah. And so she wore it and I was like, wait, that looks so cool. I'm going to do it. And so I wore it. And I feel like at the time people were like, this looks weird. You look stupid. But I rocked it. I felt so confident. And then all of a sudden, just like that, the next day, everyone's showing up in their shorts and tights.
You were tights and shorts fire starter.
Yeah.
They should have known.
But like up until like I didn't really have style. Like in elementary school, I wore like tracksuit. I looked like Jane Lynch in Glee. Like I was a tracksuit girl through and through. I loved a skirt. I loved a matching set.
Oh, matching sets are great.
And I wore it every day. Like I was disgusting. Like I never changed outfits. I had one thing that I loved and I wore it until it fell off or I lost it.
Were you stinky?
No, I don't think I was like a stinky girl. I was just a dirty girl.
Yeah, I was dirty girl, not stinky girl.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's like once I got stinky, I'm like, okay, I need to clean up.
There's a difference. You can be dirty girl and not be stinky girl.
Exactly.
And then there's two, once you tip into stink.
I had a friend and she developed very quickly in high school to the point where everyone was like, are we allowed to get boob jobs at this age? Because and then everyone was like, I think her parents give her soy milk or something. Like there were all these conspiracy theories about how her boobs got so big. We're like, does she wear a bra to sleep? Like, does that make your boobs grow? Like manifesting, like if you wear a double D bra, all of a sudden overnight they grow.
It'll just like fill out.
We had so many conspiracies about how her boobs got so big, but she was a stinky girl. But no one cared because she had giant boobs.
Yeah.
But she would come over to my house, and when she took her shoes off, her feet reeked. And so if she came over, my dad told me, oh, if she's coming over, you have to draw a bath for her to wash her feet.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Wow, stinky.
Stinky girl.
Wow.
Not me.
No.
I was just dirty as hell. I was disgusting, but no stink.
Were you a good student?
I could have been.
That's
I think I had the potential.
I had the potential too.
But I have two older sisters, and my oldest sister went to the same schools as me, and her reputation of being like a good, popular, perfect student kind of like carried down through the last name. Mm-hmm. So by the time I got there, I'm like, I don't need to prove anything. Like she was the first to go to college, like all of that. So I'm like, I'm just gonna kind of kick back and have a good time.
Yeah.
So no, I wasn't a good student. Teachers, I think, loved me because I was one of those kids who was like talking shop with the teachers. I know what adults are up to.
Yeah.
Like, we're cool. So I did well. I babysat for one of my hot, sexy teachers.
You were that person.
Yeah, it only happened a few times, but I was hoping that maybe some romance would, subside.
Were you a high school that had those teacher-student scandals?
Yeah.
You were?
Yeah. We had one teacher. He was so sexy. He's the only reason I studied to get into like advanced English because he was the advanced English teacher. And I had no idea what I was doing, but I made it into his class. I dropped out after like 2 weeks because the workload was insane. But he was so hot that I was like, maybe I'll overachieve.
Maybe it'd be worth it.
Yes. And he was like a notorious stoner. He potentially like maybe had a relationship with a student.
Oh my God.
I would have, when people get up and I'm like, you should have seen this teacher. Like it was 100% consensual. Like when you see this man, you're like, I'm an adult. I'm abandoning my parents. I'm becoming an adult just to be with this man. I would drop everything for him at this moment.
Have you seen him recently?
No, I don't know where he went. There's like rumors that he like was a van life guy after and just kind of like went on the road. I don't know what he's up to, but the teacher that I babysat for, so one of my friends from high school is now a teacher at the school that we went to. And I was like, do you ever see, Mr. Whatever? She was like, yeah, he asked about you. So I'm going to that high school reunion looking good. I hope he's there. I got to babysit for him. I heard he got divorced. So
why not roll the dice?
We'll see what happens.
I had no hot teachers. None.
Yeah.
I needed that. I said on a podcast with Carl Tart that like I actually don't think hot teachers should be allowed.
It is weird when you see a hot teacher. You're like, what went wrong?
Well,
you couldn't find any other line of work. You have to work it like you're educating people. That's so embarrassing. You're hot and you're educated. Like choose one.
Yeah, you can't have it all.
No,
you can't have it all.
We had this other teacher, Eddie, follows me on Instagram. I love him so much. I love him so much. Oh my God.
Were you in performing arts at your school?
Yeah, so I did dance for 4 years.
Oh wow.
Which was like a sport, but also it was more of like an performing art class. But we would put on dance recitals, I think like twice a year. And Yeah, we had like a huge theater program. We had Annalisa something Vanderpool. I think that's her name from That's So Raven. She went to our school.
Cool.
She's the red-haired girl in That's So Raven.
Great.
Controversial trigger warning jump scare. Matthew Morrison from Glee went to my school, and then a bunch of like athletes.
Cool.
Yeah. So it was like a very well-rounded.
It sounds like you had a nice time.
It was honestly, it was a good time.
Like from the jump to say that you ate in the bathroom.
But that was by choice.
But that was by choice.
I was a loner by choice. I wasn't like forced
overwhelmed.
into it. It was too much for me. Yeah, I didn't know how to, and I still feel that way. I get so weird in social situations.
Oh, I get severe social anxiety.
That I just like, I completely isolate myself.
Yeah.
Because I'm terrified.
I leave social interactions and I'm constantly like, oh, I spoke too much. I said too much. I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done that. I work on it tirelessly in therapy, but sometimes it's just so deeply ingrained in you.
Yes. Yeah, that was me. I couldn't do it, but I was friends with it's just like also high school, everything is the most dramatic.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, if I did one tiny thing that felt weird to me, I'm like, this is all everyone's going to talk about forever.
Over. Yeah.
So I just avoided any terrible interaction if I could. And I think it was also like I was in this 2-year relationship in high school.
I was just about to ask, did you have a boyfriend?
Yeah, well, I noticed like after freshman year, going into sophomore year, everyone started getting booed up. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, I need to lose my virginity. I need to have a boyfriend. And so I kind of like, it was more of like I needed to check this off my to-do list for high school. And so I got into a relationship with this very sweet man, but we were both so like sad and emotional and we didn't know how to be in a relationship. So I just like, I stopped partying. I stopped hanging out with people. I was in this relationship for 2 years.
Your sophomore and junior year?
My sophomore and junior year, yeah. So going into senior year, looking at colleges, I wanted to go away from home. And my boyfriend was like, go to the local college. And I was like, I can't.
Yeah.
So we broke up and then I like went really hard and like partied all the time and was just like a mess. I was hooking up with everyone. Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
I was going to ask, like, do you have any stories that in your mind are like so quintessentially high school to you? Where you're like, this is Ali Macofsky.
Yeah, but it's so sad.
I want to hear it.
It's so dark and sad. Okay. So I went to this high school party and there was this like football player there. Uh-huh. And I think he was also in a grade lower than me. I had this thing in school where I liked the guys in a grade lower. I think I was always the youngest in my family. So it was nice to be like the more maternal figure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was in a grade younger. He played football. We hooked up at a party. Kind of, weird terms of the hookup. It was very gross. But I think like the following week we had winter formal or some sort of like prom. And I got nominated. Not because people love me, just because how it works to get nominated to be like prom princess or whatever is just enough people have to.
It's not prom queen, it's prom princess.
Well, if you're nominated, you're not technically the queen until you're voted.
So
queen.
Everyone's a princess if they're nominated, and
I think
then
so.
you become
there's a process. You have to get knighted in order.
I've never heard of prom princess.
I might be making that up. I don't know what the terms are.
But you were prom princess.
I was nominated. Yeah, I wore a crown. I wore a tiny little baby tiara.
Oh my god! So everyone got a tiny little crown that was nominated.
Yeah, me and like the 4 other girls all wore these little tiaras.
It really is an honor to be nominated.
And we did it at the football field.
Wow.
But I got nominated just because I like in my history class with my hot, sexy teacher, Eddie, I was like, wouldn't it be hilarious if I got nominated randomly? And then everyone in my class voted for me. So it was enough to get nominated.
That's so funny.
And so we did this like pep rally assembly in the gymnasium. And I had my friends walking me down. And this is a week after me and the football player hooked up. And all the footballers sit in like one area of the gym. And I'm walking around. And when I pass by that area, everyone shouts out the football player's name that I hooked up with. But it was such a bad experience for me, the hookup, that I was just like traumatized. Because I'm like, I didn't like hooking up with this guy.
Yeah, like,
he's like he wasn't even like he's like the type of guy who like doesn't get drafted at all and like maybe plays at the community college and like brags to everyone that he like tore his ACL and that's why he never got picked.
Right.
One of those guys. So So yeah, it was like everyone's chanting his name as I walk by, and that definitely felt like a movie high school moment.
Yeah.
But not like the fun, positive one. And then I didn't win the nomination.
And then you were just fucking pissed.
Yeah, and then I was pissed. And I looked so bad in the photos.
What were you wearing?
I was wearing, my sweet, sweet aunt bought me this like beautiful gown. It was blue and it had sparkles all over it. But my makeup, I got it done by the MAC counter.
Oh,
and they do a
hard.
heavy
It's
beat.
It's heavy.
They did
It's
a
thick.
heavy, thick
You know,
beat.
I mean, a Netflix show. Is it? What is it? Is
Is
it cake?
I looked like cake. I
It
truly
was
looked
cake.
like, it was cake.
Cut a slice out of your face.
Yeah, it was bad, but I felt like a princess, and I was.
Well, that's good, and you were.
Yeah.
Man, when I graduated, and I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. When I graduated from high school, my boyfriend at the time, his cousin screamed "whore" at me when my diploma got put into my hand. Yes.
See, that's also
Oh my God, so traumatic.
Yes.
So I understand what it's like to like go to this like event that's supposed to be symbolic and like meaningful, and then having it just be like thwarted by little fuck faces.
But to be fair, were you a whore?
I mean, like, you know, maybe, but also, should you have called me that then there? No.
It also pisses me off because I'm like, high school is the time to be a whore.
But also, like, what does that mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, who the like, fuck you.
Yeah, it pissed me off so much because all the guys were whores.
Yeah, no one gave a shit.
Yeah, I'm like, let me give you guys my hole to be, like, you guys should be grateful that I'm so generous
100%,
with my holes.
100%.
And then I found out I got lunch. We like reconnected, me and my friend who's now a teacher at the high school, and she was like, oh, like we all thought you did anal in high school. And I was like, no, I mean, I was like,
were you like a rumor girl? Because there were always people that had like a lot of lore around them. There were always someone that were like your friend with the boobs being like, does she sleep in a bra? Was that happening with you?
I never thought that I was until I found out that I was like the anal girl.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I hadn't spread my cheeks for anyone at high school, but I was very surprised to hear that.
Yeah, there was definitely a trend of anal sex when I was in high school. I did not participate, but there was a trend of that going around.
Yeah.
I do think that it's good. You know, you've made it if you've had a rumor spread about you.
I was very honored.
The one that was spread about me was that I dealt ecstasy.
Whoa.
And I don't know why. I was like, why did people? Because I transferred into my high school.
Okay.
And I think people thought that because I was a transfer, like a mid-year transfer, that I was like some bad girl that got kicked out of some school. But the reality is I just went to boarding school and I couldn't hack it. And then I had to leave.
That's so cool to be the transfer girl.
No.
I always wanted to be the new girl because that's always exciting when you're like the old bitch who's been around, you know, the campus for the past 3 years.
When I think about the outfit, and I vividly remember this, the outfit that I wore to my first day of high school at this when I transferred, I was wearing like cut off jean shorts that hit right above the knee, Birkenstocks, and like a really ugly oversized tie-dye t-shirt, and my hair at the time was like Bon Jovi.
Wait, that sounds so cool.
No, it was not cool. It was so ugly and bad. And I think I was also wearing like a lot of like leather cuff bracelets and like wooden jewelry.
Wow.
You know, it was not it. I was listening to like jam band adjacent music for like, this was only for like a few months. I was doing this like Disco Biscuits and like weird shit like that.
Did you? Because I did this thing where I would like change my identity every few months in high school.
Yeah.
So was that like
that was a moment?
Okay.
And then we had to refresh, and then we had to get out of that moment.
Because I did go through like a lot of people. I've found out a lot of people from my high school are still ravers to this day, and that was very popular my senior year of high school. Like I had a lot of friends who were aspiring DJs.
Yeah.
But they didn't grow out of it. They're still doing that. But I did go through a phase where I was like, Swedish House Mafia is the truth.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why being here at the W Hotel is really...
It's really just hitting.
Full circle moment.
It really is a full circle moment. You know, something that I often wonder is if you could go back into your high school time, like, would you try swimming on the swim team again?
Yeah, absolutely. I loved being on the swim team.
Would you you didn't do plays?
I did. So I was traumatized after auditioning to be in school plays in elementary school and middle school and never getting cast or getting
Evil.
cast.
It's always an evil drama teacher.
So evil.
Yep, they're always evil. They're always sinister. They always have a very bad agenda. It happens to all of us.
Yeah.
We've all have been victims of a bad drama teacher.
Yeah. So I got cast as like the tree number 2, and I just refused to be a part of it.
My biggest role in any school play was Mustard Seed.
No.
In my elementary school's rendition of A Midsummer's Night's Dream.
Wow. Yeah, that's foul.
Yeah.
Do you think that we were truly that bad, or that maybe we were so talented that they were afraid to let us be seen in the light?
I think that we were so talented that it was triggering for them and that they wanted to squash and silence our power and our talent.
I think so. But it really affected me. So I never had the bravery and courage to go for another play, but I did try out for our choir program in high school, and our choir program is really great. And so I was like, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to go for it. And like, whatever happens, but I'm not going to do it unless I get the advanced co-ed, because that was like the top tier. And I made advanced women's, and I was like, not good enough. If I don't have the option to like be around the boys, then I don't want to do it.
Then what's the point?
Yeah.
Horny high schooler.
So horny. But not really actually horny, just more like, please notice me and give me attention and validation.
Yes.
I
actually feel the same way.
Yeah, because I wasn't like, oh, I want to freaking jack off and like get horny. It was more like, do you like me?
Yeah.
The only way I know you like me is if you put yourself into me.
Yeah, if you jack off on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything. Anything. I would just want to be in a dark room with you.
That was it.
That was it. That was all I needed.
It's such a vulnerable, raw, sad time.
So sad.
Was it dramatic when you broke up with your high school boyfriend?
It was so dramatic.
How did you do it?
Well, it was really hard because we'd been together for such a long time, and he was my first boyfriend and my first, sexual partner. And so breaking up with him was really hard, and we had a conversation in my car in the parking lot where we would normally have sex, and I was like...
You would have sex in your car in the parking lot of your school?
Yeah, no, not in my school. He went to a different school, which was always like cool. It felt like he was British or something.
Yeah.
He lives somewhere else. He's distant.
How did you meet him?
His stepbrother went to my school, and I was friends with his stepbrother. So I would go to his stepbrother's house, and he was there. I only saw him once. I saw him through the crack of the door, and I was like, he's hot. So then I stalked him on Facebook, and I started messaging him, and I just kind of forced him into being my boyfriend. I was like, oh, I want to change my relationship status on Facebook.
You said that?
Yeah. And then he became my boyfriend for 2 years. When we were boyfriend and girlfriend, we didn't hang out for like 3 months in person. I was too nervous. Yeah.
You just talked online?
We just talked online. And then finally, when I had the courage to meet up with him, he looked a little bit different than what I remembered. And yeah, we stayed together for 2 years.
That is so crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, so when I broke up with him, it was very emotional. He did threaten to kill himself. So we stayed together for 2 more weeks. And then I was like, you know what? This is God's plan.
Yeah.
Do what you have to do.
Lord.
Yeah, I felt terrible. But also, yeah, I couldn't do it.
No.
I needed to be free.
You needed to spread your wings and fly.
Yeah. And he got into a relationship right after. It broke my heart, but they're still together. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Who knew?
I know. And are you a crazy, when I go back home, I do drive by his house sometimes. Not that there's anything there. I just like...
No, for nostalgia, to feel it.
But it's terrible because he lives in a cul-de-sac. And so if I get caught, it's very clear what I'm doing.
You have to go around a circle. There's no way out.
There's no like, I was stopping by my friend's house. It's like I intentionally went out of my way.
It's not a through street, dear.
Yeah.
They're like, we know what you're doing here. I never go back to DC because my dad doesn't live there anymore, and none of my friends really live there, so I never go back. And it's also kind of weird because it's like, I don't know, what would I do? Like drive by the homes of people?
It's so unexciting, but to me, I'm like, what if they're doing construction?
Sure.
What if they add it on? I'm just curious.
You want to see if there's an addition.
Yeah, what's the value add now of the home?
What if they demoed it?
Do they have any new cars in the driveway?
What's going on?
Just a few questions.
Some.
And it's hard because I have so much love for this man in my heart, but it ended so terribly. And I'm like, his friends follow me on Instagram, but it ended so badly that it's never gonna.
Tumultuous high school breakups,
Yeah.
man. I had one too.
It holds a special place in my heart.
It burns.
Yeah.
It is a forever pit.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Oh my God. Is that a door knock I hear? We are in the high school guidance counselor's office, and I thought this was a perfect time to transition into this segment where you get to use this as an opportunity to rectify any wrongdoing of your high school past. Whether it's something you did, whether someone did something fucked up to you, you get to just yield this time to clear your psyche of any past, trauma that annoys you and irks you to this day.
Oh, I'm trying to think of something that I might have done that was naughty.
Take your time. Enjoy the DJ set happening behind us while you think.
Ooh, okay, this is a good one. Okay, so I had this best friend.
Mm-hmm.
We're still in touch, and we were best friends, and then she became friends with one of my friends, and we had been friends longer. They were friends more, recently. And at parties, they would make out. And they would get so much attention. And it was so fun. And she would never make out with me. And I was really hurt and upset by this. I thought I was the cooler, hotter, more long-term friend. And this was like the new girl coming in. So on our last day of high school, I'm about to go off to... Not our last day of high school. I was getting ready to go off to college. Mm-hmm. And she came over to my house for a sleepover, and I kind of confronted her about it. I was like, hey, why don't you ever make out with me at parties? It really hurts my feelings. And then she left the next day, stopped talking to me. Her and her boyfriend subtweeted about me saying, she has a boyfriend, find your own girlfriend, lesbian, blah, 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 blah. What should I do? What did I do wrong? How should I have handled the situation?
I mean, I understand that. That's like girls making out with girls in high school was like a very big piece of like culture, I think, that started, I don't really know when, but I understand you being a little upset that you didn't get to make out with your friend. And I think that honestly, I think you went about it the right way. I think they went about it the wrong way.
That's what I think.
I don't think that you did anything wrong.
And I wasn't like trying to force her into making out with me. In her mind, it seemed like I was throwing myself on her, trying to get her to make out with me at that moment. And I was like, no.
But again, this goes back to like this need that a lot of us felt for attention constantly, because it's like the only reason why she was making out with her friend was for attention at parties.
And you know how the plot thickens?
How?
So we were like best friends, and I remember on one drive with her, we were talking about gay rights. Don't know how it came up, but we were on the subject, and she was like, I'm all for gay rights, but I just don't get lesbians. And part of me always clocked that and was like, I feel like maybe you're closeted and you're not living your truth. And now you have this weird lesbians aren't real agenda that you're trying to push upon me. Meanwhile, you're making out with our friend.
Yeah, and then you're using that as an excuse to actually explore your sexuality while saying, no, I'm doing it to be entertainment for like horny boys, when in reality it's actually fulfilling my deepest fantasy that I can never reconcile with.
I think she needs to come on the podcast.
I think she needs to come on the podcast
and have a little session
and have a
with
little
you.
therapy. The culture differences between like our times in school is so interesting to me.
Like what?
I don't know. Like no one was like tweeting and social medias, and I'm not that much older than you. Don't worry, listeners. Okay. But I don't know. Like I feel so lucky that no one was like subtweeting my ass.
And it's like, it's even more terrifying now imagining high schoolers, because there's only so much more social media. We had this thing called Ask FM.
What is that?
It was this website where you could anonymously ask questions to whoever's profile it was. And it was the most insane thing because like I created an account and obviously people, that's where they go to bully people anonymously. But also it's a place where you can also submit anonymous questions and answers. So I would write in on my profile and be like, you're so pretty. I love you so much. I wish we were closer friends. Like, you know, honestly, I've always wanted to be friends with you. But then it would be like, you're a troll. We hate you. And I'm like, that wasn't from me.
Wait, I feel like you are underplaying the amount of bullying that went on to you in
It wasn't that
high
much.
school.
It honestly wasn't even that much. People loved me and I wasn't really bullied.
You're
at
like,
all.
I ate in the bathroom by choice. I swear.
Not one bad thing was said about me. I mean, yeah, but it wasn't like, I didn't feel like I was that bullied. Like, it
But
felt like a
again,
very normal amount of bullying.
I think that this was also just different because, like, you guys also, like, you all had Facebook.
Yeah.
And you all were
And I broke up
way.
with people because of, like, MySpace top 8s. There was this guy, my first kiss, my first, like, real makeout. He asked me to be his girlfriend on MySpace, and I said yes. And then the next day, he still had this other girl as his number 1. I was number 2.
No.
He actively moved me.
No.
Number 2, and I was like, we're done. We
If
had a
you're not
one
number 1
day.
in the top 8, what's the point?
It's insane.
You think I'm dating you because I like you?
No
No, I want to be on your MySpace profile.
Yeah. So yeah, it was very catty, very rude.
Well, look, I think with the girl, you were totally right to ask her because that's an innocent question and that's flattering.
Yeah.
If you asked me why didn't you make out with me or want to make out with me, I would have been like, I'm going to make out with you right now.
Yeah. And that's
then
what
we
she
can
should
just
have done.
Squash this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we can be done with it and move on.
Yeah.
That's
Thank you
what
for
should have
agreeing with
happened.
me.
If you could go back in time and give your high school self any advice, what would it be?
Oh my God, it would be just, you're doing great and just be confident because whatever you're doing, whether people think it's good or bad, they're noticing and they either want to be you or they're jealous of you. Because I think that is true about high school. Like when I saw the weird kids, I was like, that's kind of sick that they're just doing that.
Yeah.
There's this cool like 4chan girl who's like kind of goth and just weird. And I didn't like her, but it was only because she like knew who she was and she had her lane.
Yeah.
So I'm like, just keep wearing those shorts with the tights underneath and stick with it.
Yeah, I think that like I felt like I was really unique in high school and sometimes I get upset. Sometimes like now I'm like, who am I? You know what I mean? I feel like the opposite sometimes where I'm kind of like, damn, like I was so confident and like, I mean, I still am confident now, but like in a way where I felt impenetrable almost, you know, or like maybe I was just better at feeling that way.
Yeah.
Or maybe I was just more in my zone. I don't know.
I also think when you're in high school, you don't know that much. So when you're confident then, it's like, yeah, because there's nothing else to think about or worry about. It's like this tiny...
No, you know absolutely nothing.
No, so it's like, yeah, of course you're going to be confident. The older you get, the more you know, and the more you start questioning yourself.
Your brain is the size of a pea.
Yeah, what a beautiful time. I wish my brain was still... I think it's grown like maybe an inch, but it still is very, very
Mine
small.
completely went away.
Yeah,
It
no more
just
brain.
disintegrated. The brain is gone.
I'm bringing lobotomies back this year. 2022, lobotomies making a huge comeback.
I do wonder what happened to me, though, because in high school I was such a stoner, and now I cannot smoke pot. Like, period. I cannot.
I could never... High school was the time that I tried to be a stoner.
Yeah.
I tried so hard to be a stoner, and I even had this friend Seth who was prescribed weed because he had cancer in high school.
Oh, God.
It was pretty cool. Everyone loved him because he just got to bring weed on campus.
That's so crazy.
So I'd hang out with him
intense.
all the time, and every time I felt like I was dying. And I'm like, no, the roles should be reversed. He's having the time of his life. Meanwhile, I'm here just
It
dying.
makes me so paranoid and anxious.
Oh, I'm the worst.
I can't handle
I
it.
had to call my dad so many times to pick me up.
Were you a drinker in high school?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what would you drink?
I would drink fucking just straight up vodka, anything. There was no, just whatever people had. I never went on runs to get alcohol. I was too scared to do that. But like people would have, I don't even know what the brand is. Not Svedka.
Svedka.
I remember a lot of photos with Svedka. And this was the time when like those kind of see-through skull shirts were in, like the button-ups.
What?
I don't know
do
if
you
they were
mean?
in, but they were kind
You
of
were
popular.
wearing
But
them.
I just remember these photos of me in this like see-through shirt with like a white camisole tank underneath, and holding up this Svedka with like a lanyard of my keys. I felt like a janitor. I felt like in high school you just had to have so many keys.
A million keys.
I don't know where they went to or what they unlocked.
You had them.
My lanyard, a Svedka, my mesh see-through top, and just my terrible hair that just went down to my asshole. No makeup, with just heavy eyeliner.
It's always the fresh face, heavy liner.
So much acne.
This is something that is new to my podcast that I'm introducing called Snack Corner, and I want to know what was your snacks of choice.
I was a big Funyuns from the gas station near the school. That was a big snack. Also, big Top Ramen fan. I would always make like Top Ramen instant noodles, and then hot Cheetos with cream cheese in high school for breakfast.
Yeah. For breakfast?
Yeah, there's cream cheese.
It's
a
immediately a breakfast food
spread. So those were my big snacks.
You're home from high school. What do you grab?
My dad always had a lot of bread at home. He always had a lot of like cheeses. So I would make like sandwiches, and I would make quesadillas and grilled cheeses.
Yeah, I love that.
It was a very dairy heavy.
I was very dairy heavy too, and then I would immediately have diarrhea, and then I later found out I was severely lactose intolerant.
I'm the opposite. I suffer from constipation, chronically constipated. Yeah.
Oh my god. I used to come home and like clear a bar of like sharp cheddar cheese.
Yeah.
Like a what was that brand? And like the green packaging. Was it Cracker Barrel?
What?
No, that's a restaurant.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that they have their own cheese brand.
Man, I used to eat that whole thing of cheese, and then like 45 minutes later, I'd be like, why am I having explosive diarrhea? Oh,
that's so crazy.
Because I ate 4,000 calories of cheese.
And I feel like cheese was always like, you could even just eat it raw.
Oh, 100%.
Just straight up hand in the bag to the face.
Yeah, delish.
So good.
Did you go to prom?
I went to prom.
I know you're a prom princess, but did you go how many years?
We only were allowed to go our senior year unless someone who was a senior invited us. That was never me. No one ever really liked me. I had to convince prom date to go with me. Yeah, this is actually really sad. In my head, I'm like, high school was pretty fun. And I'm like, no, it was truly traumatic. No one went with me. And so my hot teacher, Eddie, I told him to put it on the board, kind of like a Tinder before apps. I asked him to write a description of what I was looking for on the board, and if any guys in his classes fit the description, they could go with me. And so I went with this guy, Connor, because he was tall and he was available.
Were those the two descriptors?
Yeah, because I'm 5'8" or maybe even 9, and I'm gonna be wearing heels.
So you're gonna be hitting at least 6 feet.
So I'm gonna be hitting at least 6 feet. He was a football player. He was tall. He was, very beefy. And so we went to prom together. Didn't hook up, but I'm sure I hooked up with plenty of other people that night.
What was the outfit?
I wore a hand-me-down for my sisters, I believe. It was like a flowy, but it was very short. It was a short, flowy dress. It looks terrible. It was almost like skin colored. It wasn't that far off from my skin color, so it just really didn't
from afar,
look good.
You were naked?
Yeah, and I straightened the shit out of my hair, so it just fell completely flat down my long, wide face from all this dairy I'm consuming. Heavy eyeliner again, and some high heels.
Love that.
Yeah.
Now, the final question of the pod, we've really blown through it here at this fucking pool party. Did you have a senior superlative?
I didn't.
You did not?
I don't know if anyone did or if I didn't make the cut. I don't think that we had senior superlatives. If we did, no one nominated me for anything.
Do you think that if looking back, what do you think you would have been nominated for?
I would have been nominated for class clown, which really just means most annoying.
I mean, a lot of people were nominated for class clown who are now clowns.
Yeah. So I think I would have been nominated for that. Yeah, most annoying. Yeah, because I would just but that would only be if the teacher's nominated. Because I don't think anyone in my class found it funny, but I always made the teachers LOL.
Right. You knew who your audience was, and it was the teachers.
I was never trying to impress the students. I just always wanted the teachers' approval.
The hot teachers.
And there was this one teacher, she was the best, and she gave me great advice. She met her husband like a little bit later in her life, and she said, always go on a date to like a coffee shop and see what the person you're going on a date with orders, because that'll tell you a lot about who they are.
And what is it bad? Like, what in your mind would be a bad order?
Like, if they're just ordering all these extra things, getting weird, like, adjustments and just being annoying. Especially how they treat the barista.
Like, if someone was on some, like, half calf, half decaf, soy, light foam, 2 pumps of vanilla, you're out.
I'm out. I can't do that. I'm like a very laid back person. And also, if that's like their regular order, are they the type of person who gets the same thing? Do they like structure? Are they afraid to try something new?
See, I actually really don't like when people order different things at coffee shops. Like, I like Abe drinks black coffee and that's it. Yeah. And I really like that.
And that's nice for you, because if you want to be generous and order him something, you don't have to text what you want.
To me, you are dealing with some issues if you are changing up your coffee order every single day.
I am a coffee changer.
Every day?
I mean, only if I make instant coffee at home. I'm not ashamed to say it. I have Nescafe or whatever, Nestle coffee. I heat it up, get the water, and pour it in. Enjoy it. Coffee's done. Don't have to think about it. But if I'm going to a coffee shop, I'll take some adventures. I'll take some risks. But there's only I either get an iced cortado, I get a nice latte, or I get a cold brew.
See, these are classics. Yeah. You know, you're basically saying to me, I'm wearing a button down, I'm wearing a polo, I'm wearing a t-shirt. You know, you're not like saying I'm going one day getting a frappuccino. No. The next day I'm going and getting a white chocolate mocha. No. The next day I'm going and getting a matcha latte. No. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That is good advice from your teacher.
I know. And she has kids now, still happily married.
I love that we know all of this. Yes. Ali, what a treat it has been to have you on my podcast.
Thanks for having
Superlatives. Me. Where can everyone find you and follow you?
You can follow me everywhere. My handle is @NotAliMac. And you can check out my podcast, Resting Bitch, available on all platforms.
I want to come on your pod.
Do my pod.
Me inviting myself onto your podcast.
I always need guests.
See, now I'm being you, being like, why didn't you kiss me?
No, but I'm going back to I'm not going to ask, because what if you say no? I'm too afraid.
Oh, no. So
I'm happy you're asking.
Yeah, I want to come on. Okay.
We'll do it.
Thank you so much for joining us here at the W Hotel at Netflix is a Joke Festival. Thanks for listening to my podcast. And, you know, as we say every week here on Senior Superlatives, stay cool, never change. Until next time, enjoy a mimosa at the pool and get your little buns out in the sun. Ciao!
I'm so tempted to sing, as we go on, we remember all the times we spent together.
Yeah.
That was a Headgum podcast.